What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you checking in. All right. We all know that the Geno contract has dropped. The Raiders have signed him to a 2-year extension. And when the news was released, I basically did an entire video. And one of the things in that video I was really curious about, as much as I love the number, I was also very curious as to just how this contract was going to be structured. But at the end of the day, I do love the number that they decided on, but I wanted to know what the structure was going to look like. And I did the video, I edited, I wanted to go ahead and release it. And all of a sudden, the details came out. And so obviously I had to scrap that. And now I got to redo the video with my take and my opinion on it. Now that we know how it's structured, I'm going to kind of get into that. So, but before I do, if you can, hit that like button, subscribe, turn those notifications. My next giveaway is at 5,000 my subscribers. My previous giveaway was at 4,500, and my 2 winners, you guys got your giveaways. I appreciate it. But again, this is just my way of saying thank you and showing my appreciation for all the support you guys have given me. So hit that subscribe button if you do want to be included. So let's kind of jump into the details, because that was one of the things you want to know: how much flexibility the Raiders have moving forward if they do draft a quarterback this year. Are they going to wait to get a quarterback? How much time do we have to develop a quarterback? And what is this contract going to look like? And can we get out of it within this 3-year span? And so I'm going to jump over to the screen, and this is kind of how it breaks down. Sorry, I'm cutting off a little bit of it, but basically, Geno Smith's contract for the 2025 season, the compensation was increased to $40 million from $31 million, because that was originally what was agreed upon with Seattle. 2026, the base salary of $26.5 million. Of that, $18.5 million is fully guaranteed at signing. The remaining $8 million is guaranteed for injury. It becomes fully guaranteed on the 3rd day of the 2026 league year. And so, look, that's always important to a lot of teams, right? You see that, you saw it with Jimmy Garoppolo and all that stuff, where at a certain point within the league year, as soon as that important date hits, that's when the guaranteed money kicks in. So are you going to retain that player? Or are you going to move on from him? That is a key date every single year when you have a player that has a decent hit to your salary cap for that current year. And so in 2027, this is key. In 2027, he'll have a non-guaranteed salary of $39.5 million. And so again, you got to remember, there's I believe $10 million worth of incentives. It's a 2-year extension, $75 million with incentives that can get him to $85 million. I believe the total is about $116 million overall, and it averages out to anywhere between $35 to $38 million, depending on the incentives per year. So not only are you getting Geno Smith for middle of the road money, I mean, he's basically get 17th ranked money. And again, when Brock Purdy gets signed, it now turns into him getting paid like the 18th ranked quarterback in the National Football League. And look, Geno Smith is better than the 18th ranked quarterback. But what makes this even more interesting is that, if you remember, Seattle, it was reported that Geno Smith wanted $45 million per year. And you look at these numbers, that tells me that his relationship with Pete Carroll goes far beyond just the numbers. I mean, he came over here and he's agreed to such a team-friendly deal. And I'm going to get into just what I think this means for not only the possibility of us getting a quarterback in this year's draft, but also what it means for the Raiders moving forward and how they can deal with Geno Smith in the 26 and 27 season based on what these numbers say. But before I get into it, just a reminder real quick, for any of you that are in the Southern California area, Saturday, May 17th, Raider Nation Summer Kickoff in Bakersfield, California. It's the 11th annual just massive Raider Nation party. Jeremy Chin. There might be a couple other current Raider players that will attend the event, and you have an opportunity to get a signing, a meet and greet, but there's going to be thousands of Raider fans there to kick off the summer and the start of the upcoming season. So again, I will be there. If you want to come out and just rock out with Raider Nation, come check us out. Let me know in the comment section if you do plan on rolling through. But again, Bakersfield, California, Saturday, May 17th. It's family friendly. It's going to be nothing but games, events all throughout the day. So come roll with us. I'll have a big easy up with my logo and all that stuff on there. And we're going to be chilling with the Raider Nation. So again, Bakersfield, California, Saturday, May 17th. Come check us out. So let me kind of go back up to the big screen, because I want to kind of just give you my full breakdown of what I think this contract means and what it means for the Raiders moving forward. And if you look at those numbers, I think number one, this gives the Raiders so many options. This is as team friendly as you can get, because again, as the quarterback pay scale increases, next year, Geno Smith has the potential with Chip Kelly. You build a little bit of the offensive line, you give him a running game. We already got two very good weapons between Jacoby Myers and brockbowers. You get another receiver, another pass catching threat to help Geno Smith out. There's a good chance that Geno Smith, if he can get back to what he was with Pete Carroll, he could be a top 10, I'll say maybe an 8th, 9th, 10th ranked quarterback in the National Football League. But if he gets to that point in the 2026 season and even 27 season, if we retain him, he might be getting paid like the 25th, 26th ranked quarterback. All right. So, and because of his age, this is probably the last big contract that Geno Smith is going to receive. And so I don't see him getting any extensions outside of this contract. And so if you can hold him to this contract and you're paying him that type of money, you are going to get a potential top 10 quarterback for bottom of the barrel money. And that's an amazing contract for Geno Smith to be able to agree to that. I think that just goes to show the relationship he has with Pete Carroll. But what this does is this also allows the Raiders to potentially draft a quarterback this year, build that quarterback, prep that quarterback during the 2025 season, let him learn and ride behind Geno Smith. But it now gives you the option, because remember, his contract isn't fully guaranteed until the start of the new year. It allows the Raiders to move on from Geno Smith at a very, very inexpensive price. The guaranteed money in the 2026 season is very minimal when it comes to what quarterbacks are paid, and there's no guaranteed money in the 2027 season. That means that if you do draft a quarterback and you prep that quarterback and you think that quarterback's ready to go, you can move on from Geno Smith and it won't be an absolute dent to this salary cap. Also, if you draft a quarterback this year, or maybe you draft a quarterback next year, you can move on from Geno Smith in the 2027 season for absolutely nothing. And you also, and this is, again, it just extends the options that the Raiders have. You can also trade Geno Smith away. And Geno Smith will have such a team-friendly contract. You can trade him away, and there could be teams that are desperate for a quarterback that aren't necessarily in the top 10 in next year's draft, and they don't have access to a top quarterback next year, and maybe the quarterback is that final piece that they need in order to be competitive. If Geno Smith is good enough to attract some of those teams, and you can trade him away, and that contract is very team-friendly and minimal to any team out there, you might find yourself in a situation to where you can trade Geno Smith away to a lot of teams that like the fact that they can get a middle range quarterback, maybe with a lot of upside, for a very team-friendly deal. I mean, again, you just look at the numbers and the way that this contract is structured, it gives the Raiders so many options. You can move on from Geno Smith at any point, and you can move on from him by cutting him because he's not going to be a massive hit to the current salary cap, or you have so many options of potentially trading him away to a team that's not going to be afraid of taking on that salary cap hit. So again, big shout out to Johnspytek, but at the same time, this just kind of goes to show that Pete Carroll and his relationship with his players, especially Geno Smith, that goes far beyond just the numbers, and you got to give Pete Carroll credit as well. So again, let me know in the comment section how you feel about this signing. Are you excited about it? Do you think it's a good contract? Are you excited that Geno Smith is our quarterback based on the options that were left out there? There weren't very many. It was a Aaron Rodgers or a Russell Wilson or a Justin Fields, or even a Sam Darnold, right? Those were the options kind of left on the board. Let me know what your thoughts are now that the full contract is out. That's why I had to scrap my previous video, because I wanted to know what those contract deals were out, and it basically came out a few hours after I recorded it, and I wanted to scrap that one and drop this because I think it's massive. It's massive news on how it's structured and just how team-friendly it is for the Raiders. So again, let me know in that comment section down below. So just want to jump on here, talk to you guys about it. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Remember, I go live on Sunday evenings and Tuesday evenings to kind of dive more in detail with you guys and chop it up with the chat, and we can go back and forth. So I appreciate it. But man, appreciate you sticking with me. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.